No, I can't hear nothing.
Huh.
Says the stream is live.
We're live, but you can't hear that music?
Well, I just said I couldn't. There's no sound here for that.
How about now?
No.
Can't hear that?
I just said no. I can't
You say
hear
it again. I mean, can't you just keep saying it?
Yeah, keep saying it. Do I hear it? No. 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 We're live 27 seconds, 28, 29. Do I hear it? No.
It's off now.
Oh,
70QQ said audio and video is good. Hey, did anybody else hear the music, the big gold intro music from Starcade? Did anybody hear it out there? All right, Italian heard it. Everybody heard it. Oh, yeah, there we go, man. We were in for about less than a minute, and Rip's already off the screen. Record time, man. Good show, Rip. Good to see you. 2 seconds of music, he said. Let me try it again. While we wait to see if Rip can find his way back anyway. It lasted longer than I thought, Rip. Tell me if you hear this. Anybody hear that by chance? Hey, Rip's back. Gone back. Kept you the intro over since Rip left.
So swole that I can't get the shit closed.
Now we can't hear you, Rip. Now you're on like mute. Can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hit the this is awesome. Give me a 1 if you can hear me, Rip. Okay, we can't hear you. So you're on, or at least I can't. Can anybody else hear Rip? Maybe it's just me. Okay, everybody can hear me but you, Rip. You're muted somehow. So either go all the way back out, click on the link and rejoin. Probably be a good idea, or just unmute your phone would be good too, but maybe just leave this thing and then come back in. Try that. Here, I'll get rid of you. I'll remove you. Or I can't even remove you. Try to hang that son of a bitch up, Rip. Like, get off the thing. Like, hang up your phone or whatever you're doing and rejoin the link that I texted you. Man, we were on. We were going good. I knew this was going to be, crapshoot today, but we could hear him on here for at least 30 seconds. Then he went black. And then his audio went off. The Hustler Rip Rogers trying to join us from Las Vegas today. The Hustler is out in Las Vegas. Probably doing a lot of gambling, been at the casinos. Probably, well, yeah, no shit, Screaming Baboon. I know it's not his show without his sound. Like, if he doesn't come on, we're going to fucking hang up. I'm not going to keep doing the show by myself. Hit like allow mic. There's got to be an allow mic button, like when you join. Is there a little microphone down in the corner? Or if you see a microphone, it says, I can't unmute guest because guest has elected to mute himself. So you have muted yourself. You've got to have a microphone on your picture somewhere. And you hit your finger on that little microphone. You could keep talking, but we can't hear you have you tried hitting a microphone yet? Like take your finger so I can see your finger and press. Yeah, there you go. Now press your phone where the little microphone is. How did you do it? How did you do it originally? So So the last time you hung up here, you didn't go totally off, like hang up. Like I feel like I really need you to just flip through your apps or whatever and really just disconnect totally to this thing. And then re-click the link to get back in. And when it asks you to allow microphone, then do it. There you go. Now he's totally out. Totally out. Now he should be able to. The thing is, his microphone originally was allowed because he was talking. We were on here talking. He was talking on the show. Then he went black. And when he came back from black is when the microphone didn't work. So originally it was all set. We were good. We were on here 10 minutes early, ready to do this thing. Hit live button, Rip talk for a minute, and then left. Hey, what would Wrestling with Rip Rogers be without some mess ups here in the beginning with technology, audio, visual, the damn production team? I mean, I'm going to fire every one of these people here in this studio today, which is just me. Is this a rib, Billy Ray Dollar? No, Billy Ray Dollar, if you're a new listener, this is not a rib. This is it's kind of par for the course here. That's kind of how it goes with Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Wouldn't be a shame. One day we talked on here for 15 minutes when we were both muted. So, yes, Talion, yeah, he was on, man. He was on here. Now, if you would just click the link to get back on. Click the link, Rip. Maybe I'll re-text it to him, which is basically the last text I sent him anyway, so. Click the link, Rip. He's not showing up. He's not in my waiting room. He's not read my text. He's got too many hookers in Las Vegas, I think. I think the gambling and prostitutes have went to his head. I don't know what he's doing. He's not. All he has to do is literally just click a link. Hasn't read my text. Not showing up. Maybe Rip said, fine, that's true. Knowing Rip, it'd be quite a rib. We all stay on here for an hour and Rip never joins. Thing is, he's joining with his phone, so I would just call him. But if he's really trying to get connected, I'll give him like 1 minute and then I'll call him. Maybe we should do a countdown. A countdown. Oh, I heard him.
I see you.
Hey, look who's here. Anything for attention, man. Anything for attention. The hustler
Fuck
Rip
off
Rogers.
and die.
Anything for a little attention, a little drama. You can't say F off and
Well,
and D
we're over 30 seconds.
Well, you can't. You still just can't. You can't do that anytime. You can take the risk of getting kicked off YouTube, Rip.
Oh, I guess you shouldn't bait me then.
I didn't bait you. I mean, have a little self-control, man. You're the one that says self-control is easy. Shouldn't eat, shouldn't drink, can't do this, can't do that. It's really easy, just mindset. I learned it from you, Rip.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Do you know what happened?
Know what happened to what? This?
Well, where you went black first, then where you went muted second.
Well, it's the same thing. It says you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. But I wasn't in there and nobody could see and hear me.
So the whole time you were doing this, were you just ribbing us or were you really talking?
No, I was talking.
All right. You have me to read the chat, or are you going to read the chat today?
Read the chat.
Yeah, the chat. The people in the chat.
Oh, I can't see nothing.
You can't?
No.
George
Oh,
Jetson in from outer space says Rip Rogers, WCW's Marathon Man. That's right. Whatever happened to that gimmick? Did that ever actually debut on TV, the Marathon Man?
That was Jim Ross that's making that shit up.
I know, but at one time I thought they were really gonna like have that as your gimmick, as your name. Did they ever actually call you like Marathon Man Rip Rogers?
A couple times.
Talyon in the house says Rip Rogers is straight edge and bi. Tom Montgomery in the house. Gregory Mall in the house. Screaming Baboon in green, our first green guy today in the house, says he's over and Manny Valverde ain't shit. Talyon in the house. 70QQ here. Shane Parks in green. Patrick Young in green, ready for class. All the top stars here. Young Mighty Joe's here. Bull Diggin back in action in green. Welcome, Bull Diggin. Rip rocking the beard again. Rip, beard's looking good.
Well, I'm too late. I don't want to. I don't like to shave. I just soon just get it over with. Whatever. I don't like a beard, and I don't want to shave either one.
You just like to not like anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
You are like Raymond.
I'm like the king.
Just love to hate everything.
Yeah.
Screaming Baboon said, I love the 8 minutes of talking with no sound. That is the best, Rip, when you just keep talking and we can't hear you.
Yeah, I got ask Baboon about my the text I was getting at 2-something in the morning, and he was just going off cussing, screaming how he hated everybody.
You guys sound like you're might be related. Sure you weren't separated at birth? You sure you didn't have any kids when you went over to Australia, Rip?
Shit, I think he's older than me, so maybe he had me. You never know.
You both do the bicep pose. You both have the same pose. You both bitch about everything. I mean,
well, you got to do the bicep pose because you got to have your other hand's clicking the phone.
Shane Parks in a $2 super sticker. Thank you, Shane. If you got a question, throw it in there. Young Mighty Joe, member Rip. Young Mighty Joe became a YouTube member. How about that?
Well, that's good because my YouTube hadn't been working. I got to get it.
Your YouTube works.
No, wait a minute. It hadn't worked since I've been here.
It's not that YouTube doesn't work. Maybe it's because you're not on Wi-Fi. Did you get Wi-Fi figured out?
Right. No, I don't have any here yet.
No?
Uh-uh.
How are the hookers in Vegas?
I don't know. I don't have no money for hookers.
Oh, come on now. I thought you'd get them for free, as over as you are.
Yeah, I agree with you, but no.
Agree with me, but no.
Yeah, the gym's a mile and a half away. So it'll take me about 40 minutes to walk it, so I ain't going to.
How about getting an Uber?
Huh?
How about going Uber? Mile and a half probably cost you $7, $8 every time. $7.
Okay, then I got to get back, don't I?
Okay, well, you Uber back. When I say Uber, you would go there and back.
Oh, so no, if they dropped me off, they wasn't going to come back and pick me up how many hours later and
say, oh, yeah. Uber again. You just re-Uber. You just order it again.
Well, I don't know how to order Uber to begin with, so that's irrelevant.
I sure wish you would have had that stand that I bought for you so you could have your phone horizontal so we could see you better. But
there, I just turned it over.
There. Look at that. Now you fill the whole screen.
Well, what happened was I had to change it, whatever, and turn it off, turn it on, this and that, and whatever. Now you disappeared for a second, then you came back.
Now, are you sitting down or standing up?
I'm sitting down.
Yeah. And the phone's way down low, I guess. You're looking like down at it.
I'm looking at the phone.
Right, but it's way like down there type of thing.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay. All right. This is awesome. So you're just gone for this week, or what? Couple weeks vacation in Vegas?
Hopefully I'll be dead by the end of the week.
Hold on. Dead by when?
End of the week.
End of the week.
Yeah.
So we won't have to worry about this next week?
Yeah.
You
can have Screaming Baboon as my replacement. He can do the bicep shot.
I can't wait. Wrestling with Rip Rogers with Screaming Baboon. That'll be great.
then he can text you at 2:15 in the morning about 8 times.
The difference between me and you is I'm not going to put my cell phone on the show like you did.
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is you did.
He don't call me. He texts me.
You did this here.
Listen. He don't call me. He texts me.
I understand, but he still needs my goddamn phone number to text me, and I'm not putting it on the screen like you did right here.
Well, so what?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You said, "What do I mean?" I'm showing you what I mean. You asked the damn question.
Well, I saw that. Well,
you said, "What do you mean?" So I'm showing you what I mean, and you're like, "He doesn't text. He doesn't call me. He texts me."
If Tony's just happened to be watching the show, then he would know that it's okay for him to get a hold of me.
Right, and all the other thousands and millions of people that are watching,
and millions and millions.
Screaming Baboon, $2 super comment. I guess we'll call his a super comment since there's no question. Yes, Rip's my daddy. I hate everyone and everything. There you go.
And he's got a bicep that's twice as big as mine. So what the hell, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Michael Costello, man, longest living member.
Where's he been?
I don't know. Oh, look at that. Vaughn is over with me for his patience. See, if they only knew what I had to deal with on a week to week basis.
Well, when you got to babysit me in a normal thing, it's hard enough. And then all of a sudden I'm out here in where I'm at, then it's twice as hard.
Wait, that's not the one. We were talking about this. I don't know if we finished this conversation right before we went on the air. You did find that Pat McAfee talked about you this last time on ESPN?
Yeah.
What was he saying this time?
Oh, he was just talking about how when it started out, the whole thing was talking about the ring and stuff.
Yeah, I saw you had to put it in his studio or whatever.
Yeah, and then he was just talking about how he hired me to train him and whatever. And then because I put up that picture of me and you and Randy and Marcus and whatever sitting there with Pat when they're in the barn with the ring. But he was talked about that.
Didn't mention my name, probably, did he?
But that was 1 hour and 3 minutes in.
Mm.
Yeah, because I went 1 minute and 3 seconds in first.
That's what I did.
Then I went the second time. Then I said, I bet since it's Vito, it's probably an hour and 3. And
good
I was
thinking.
right.
Thanks for sharing that, though, Vito. Appreciate that. So, Rip, McAfee didn't mention my name on there, did he?
No, he was on the fly.
Wonder why he never mentions my name. You know, I sent him a message, which I know I won't hear back from him nowadays, you know.
Yeah, I've sent him messages and I never heard back from him ever.
I sent him a message and I said, hey, if you need somebody, once I saw they had that ring set up, you know, I live like 10 minutes from that.
Right.
From his, whatever that thing's called.
Uh-huh.
I said, hey, if you need somebody to come over and get your chest ready for Gunther, let me know.
Yeah, so you should be working with Gunther. Mackie should bring you out, and you just guys had the big old chop fest.
But I got no reply. But I saw on Twitter or something that Scott Steiner's coming in to train him there. Or something.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I can see that.
So is that part of the like WWE TV thing or something? I mean, I'm surely they're setting that up, right?
They would have to be. Yeah,
I would think so. Steiner's not really a Gunther type. Like he's not a.
No. Steiner would automatically kill you if you chopped him.
Right. See if we got any questions in here today. Oh, I was listening to real quick. I didn't even finish it. I was on Cornette's channel, and he had a little clip on there about OVW 2000 in the year 2000. Did you happen to listen to that?
No.
He was talking about Mr. Black, the hill. What are they called? The hillbilly.
Wait a minute. Jebediah Blackhawk and Cousin Otter.
Yes, he was talking about Jebediah Blackhawk, Cousin Otter, and then when I quit listening, they were talking about oh my God, the little dude, the lawyer-looking dude that was American Eagle,
Crony,
Jerome R. Crony, and Cornette was doing the Crony voice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Give us the Crony voice.
Crony be going, shit. He knocked the hell out of me.
I'll send that over to you.
Oh,
well,
shoot.
Your YouTube doesn't work, but I'll try to send it to you.
Well, it's
Michael Costello, not only a green long-time listener.
All right.
$5 super chat said, please put towards the Rip Rogers Hooker Money Fund.
All right.
All right. No hookers yet in Vegas. Have you went gambling? You've been to the casino? You've been taking all this YouTube money and doubling down with it?
They got all these casinos probably within 1 minute of walking distance from me. And no.
Can you see them like out the window?
I'm not getting up because then I'll miss the camp.
You can't.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh yeah, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're big time now, Rip.
Yeah, sure am. Hey, but yesterday I found not the Dollar Tree or the other one. No, the Dollar Tree. I found it, and it's still the same prices because everything else was I couldn't afford to eat here. It cost too much. But then all of a sudden I found the Dollar Tree. Oh yeah, there went now. Then I got $9.25 like cheeseburgers, barbecue burgers, breakfast stuff, and everything like that.
They have cheeseburgers at the Dollar Tree?
Oh yeah, $1.25.
Are they like frozen?
They're cold, but they're not frozen. But then you can put them in the freezer, and I just put them in the freezer. I just give them an extra minute, and they're fine.
Sounds healthy. Does Rip, Young Mighty Joe, not only a new member today, but also a $2 super chat. Does Rip have any Dick Byers stories?
Shit, he's nobody. I talk about Dick Byer. Nobody else even knows who the hell it is.
I don't know him. So who is he first, and then stories second?
Yeah, he always worked with a hood, and so he was Dr. X. And something, he was always famous. He had the chipped tooth gimmick, so that was still always ticking out. And but he always worked under the hood. Dr. X and something else, but he did it for years and years. He's one of the legends of upstate New York.
Huh. Now, Dr. X, wasn't that that's the mask I bought? I think out of one of the pro wrestling magazines. Right. I had the Dr. X mask. It was white with a
black and white X. With the X on. Yeah, I got one when I was like 14, I think, because they had them on there for I don't know how many different years from all the old Weeder magazines. Before then, it was Mr. America magazine, and then Dan Lurie had the B magazine. But you could always get buy the karate stuff that could make you kill people overnight, and the Twistoflex thing, and all the top stars get that stuff there.
Speaking of top stars, Rip, Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass is here today.
And Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass says, "Hello, you mother." I won't even say it, and I won't even say it on TV, baby.
He's in green, by the way. We got another super chat coming in. Big George in the house today.
George probably bankrolled the crazy guy. What do you think? Randy Orton feuding with John Cena again. How long can a feud go? Well, you can 20
years at least. It looks like.
How much?
I don't know. Probably 20 years. Isn't that what they're at?
You can have Lawler Dundee going on year number 40. So what the hell, right? And no matter what, it's once they got that heat, and all of a sudden you got to take their milkshake or throw some sand in their face, and the feud starts again. What the hell?
But I think it's been a while since they wrestled, probably. So is that the match at the next pay-per-view, or is this not the last match then, right? Is this the upcoming match, or is this Cena's last match? I haven't watched the last couple weeks.
Well, Cena's supposed to be wrestling until the end of this year or whatever.
Right. So I didn't know if they were feuding to make him and Cena, or Cena and Orton, to be the last match of the year.
I don't think there's nothing even about that. It looks like George is just putting his mind out there that says, "What do you think of Randy Orton?"
No, they're feuding. They're back. I think
they are. That's what I was going to
wrestle, but I just don't know when the match is. If it's like, sometimes like the one year it was Cena versus Rock, but they announced it a whole year in advance.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure if this one's, they have announced that, hey, this is my last match, Randy Orton, or if it's at this next pay-per-view. That's what I don't know.
Probably this. I guess it'd be at this next pay-per-view, but because Cena got some good steam when he just killed Cody. So, but then Randy's going to work babyface in, I guess.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I would think so. Let's see. Somebody had asked that paid something a little bit ago, but I lost it. But I think they asked about if you ever wrestled Matt Bourne.
Yeah, I wrestled Matt Bourne in WCW when he did the lumberjack gimmick. What was he called there?
Big Josh.
Yeah, you got it. Big Josh. I remember he slammed me. Then he did like a lumberjack stomp where he was running like in place with little bitty kicks like Big Josh. When I knew Matt, he was real young and he was small. When he was Big Josh, that son of a bitch was huge.
Bull Diggin wanted to know any thoughts on Eddie Gilbert. Just watched his Dark Side of the Ring. I knew that was coming out. I kind of want to see that. I always liked Eddie Gilbert. I think it was Cornette. I heard talking about it again because he does all those Dark Side of the Rings about, Eddie, I think, passed away right before like the Attitude Era or whatever they called it. So what are your thoughts on Eddie? And do you think he would have eventually went into the WW? Because he was never in WWF, was he?
No, he was in WWF.
But not on like the main, once it went more mainstream.
Right. Once Vince Jr. took over, he wasn't on there though.
You think he would have been a WWF superstar eventually?
Well,
he was pretty little for that time.
Yeah, he was a smaller guy, but he was always had been around the business his whole life. And then, Tommy Gilbert was his dad, and, his brother still works and everything. But Eddie had been a real booker in a couple places. So he's obviously real smart about the wrestling business.
Yeah.
And if you're smart about the wrestling business, WWE can use you because they got big guys, small guys, fat guys, and skinny guys now. The whole business has changed now.
Well, now, but I'm talking about when he would have been in it.
Well, I don't know if Vince. Usually Vince had that big size thing. You know what I mean? But who knows? Eddie had a great mind, so he might have been working as a manager, doing as an agent, occasional wrestling, whatever. He was multi-talented in the wrestling business, and he made a whole lot of money when he was just a kid growing up because he was a photographer.
Oh yeah.
So he was a photographer, and a lot of his pictures got in all the magazines and everything, and he had free access, and the guys were always friendly to him because everybody wanted to get their picture taken because it might be in some of the magazines.
Frank said his wife sent him a naughty pic and said, "This is your dinner." Ooh.
What? I didn't see the picture, so what was the picture of?
Well, I'm assuming a naughty picture, he said. He didn't show the picture. I'm sure it's over Snabbits,
Okay. I wonder if his wife or if it was his girlfriend.
Oh, he said his wife.
Okay, could have been his young boyfriend, but I told him I'd kayfabe that on here, but you know how it is. Since WWE, since they're exposing everything now of what's going to happen, I guess I can do it too, just a little bit.
Ever wrestled Jake the Snake Roberts? Shane Parks in Green wants to know.
Never wrestling. Where I was at, I was a heel and he was a heel.
A little inside information here. Frank says Disco Inferno. Does Disco, I guess he lives in Vegas. He has a strip club or works there.
Yeah, you're right. He does live there.
Well, there's a connection for you if you need one there. Disco Inferno, you can start hanging out at Disco Strip Club.
Yeah, I'll just they have phone books anymore?
Then
I'll look.
I doubt it.
What would it be under Disco Inferno or Inferno Disco? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Inferno, Disco. They usually do the last name first.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Do they still have phone books?
Surely not. God, isn't that crazy? I used to sit there and look up, try to find like girls that I had crushes on, tried to find them in the phone book. And then you didn't really know who their parents were, and I'd hate it when it'd be a name like Smith, and there'd be like 100 of them, and even in Seymour, and awful. The phone books were cool. Hey, speaking of Seymour, did you hear about
the shooting at the library? Yeah,
did you hear that?
I didn't hear it, but I looked at it on my phone. And I said, "What the hell?"
So I guess he went first to the school to try to shoot the. We better quit talking about it. We'll get banned off YouTube. But shoot the cop working there, which was Chad Rogers, which used to be my neighbor growing up. He's my age, graduated with me. I don't know if you remember Roy Rogers from Seymour, but it was his son.
Huh.
Big George says, dye the hair blonde and the beard brown. I'd say black, but yeah, let's do it, Rip. Get that done, all right?
Dye the hair blonde. My hair's white now.
Yeah, it's blonde enough. Just get that beard black. Hey, what about Hogan? Speaking of black beards, Hogan's got the black beard. What's that deal they're doing? Hogan and Bischoff.
It looks like it's going to be.
Is that like a real wrestling?
Well, they're just going to have some money marks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do it like it's pro wrestling, but it's going to be amateur wrestling, just real amateur wrestling. So I given it'll be about like the US or what Vince have, or it did like a 10, then a 5, then the third.
Yeah.
Was that the XFL or
the XFL? Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll probably be something like that.
Is Rip's OnlyFans working? Well, I tried to do the what's that called on RVD site, wrestling only wrestlers or whatever. I've got some email confirmation on that. I've not done anything with that yet, but if I do get in there and figure it out, I'll let everybody know. But no, at this time, it is not. If I missed any of your questions or comments or whatever, then do a super chat and I won't miss it. The next pay-per-view is Orton versus Cena.
Oh, okay.
Frank's wife is over. Rico's in Vegas, they said. Rico. Hey,
Great.
Hey, was Rico ever at that convention last weekend? Did you ever see him?
I didn't.
You never saw him?
No.
Oh yeah, a little update. Me and Rip were at a.
Oh, great.
You're fine. Wrestling convention. Just leave it like that.
Yeah, I'm up and down, and I push the button. When I push the button, the whole thing rotated, and it won't come back, and whatever.
Big wrestling convention. Who all did you talk to? Who all did you see? Who all did you hang out with last weekend, Rip?
I don't know. I put a bunch of pictures up the last couple of days.
Okay, well, talk about it a little bit. What else are we going to talk about for the next 30 minutes?
I don't know. Use your head. Use your brain.
Well, it's your show, so I'm asking you questions about people you hung out with last weekend.
Well, then I would have to go to my pictures. I said,
you can't remember any of them? Like you can't remember talking to Nick Nemeth? No? You can't remember talking forever to Mr. Kennedy and Gene Snitsky?
Yeah, I talked to Snitsky and I talked to Kennedy. Yeah.
Now you can't remember slapping JBL real hard from behind and him turning around and
I did that.
I figured I must have known who was doing it. Surely no Mark would have hit me that hard. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I remember hitting him, laughing. And I was
talking to Scott Steiner, who supposedly slapped you across the face, but didn't really. You don't remember talking to him?
Yeah, I remember talking to him. But I didn't get a picture. I didn't get a picture taken with him, I don't think.
You don't remember talking. You don't remember being a cock blocker to me, talking to Miss Texas when I was over there with Miss Jacqueline in WWF, Miss Texas, the way I knew her. You don't remember coming over and interfering in my conversation?
Well, I did
because you were jealous.
No,
you don't remember that?
Well, I'm just trying to protect your, your wife might see this or whatever, and then to see you are there trying to, just be 6'6" and be over and lats out, strutting and everything. And I was trying to just protect your sanctity of marriage,
Did you see how Miss Texas was leaning, like she had her head rested on my chest? Did you see that? Did you see how that was?
Yeah, I went in the bedroom and turned the lights off, and
look at her. She's got her head like tilted, and
I think you're right on that.
Yeah,
I think she heard you were going to be there, and that's the only reason she showed up.
I don't disagree with that one bit.
And I think she bought that the woman that was heavier. I think she sort of brought her for me or whatever,
We needed you to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Then the highlight of the day for me, anyway, the day I went was hanging out with a one-man gang.
Oh, OMG, George Gray, Panama Gang.
One-man gang even recognized me. Said, "Hey, Von Lilas."
Oh, that's awesome.
Hung out with the gang for a while, so he was super cool. That was a good time. Rico lives in Vegas. Vito. I almost called you Guido. Sorry about that. Vito Andretti, who was also at the big convention last weekend. All the top stars were there. Got to see Vito. Got to see Eugene. Rob Conway was there. All the old Cornbread. All the old OVW stars were there.
Yeah.
How was Miss Texas? George said. Miss Texas was awesome, man. She was pleasantly. She was nice. Rip was very evil to her, but
that makes you look like the long, tough, tall gentleman. I'm the heel, you're the baby face, and she just hangs on to the baby face because he's 6'6", and she's just wishing, and I read the mind, so I'm even more of a heel, and you're just playing the ultimate baby face. And I caught her squeezing that big arm a couple times and squeezing the try.
Oh yeah, and then I've never seen you walk so fast. You came over there so fast after she was getting all close to me and stepped right in between us. Never seen you move that fast.
Well, I used to move that way before I got run over, but I could have CB'd a whole lot faster than that. Oh hell yeah!
Any Miss Texas stories they want to know?
Who's they?
George, Big George.
Well, no, you got some jingo coming out of there. What?
Oh, George's been a long time supporter, and he's in green.
He's trying to
get Baboon, $2 super chat. Rip, was it your idea for Rico to do the Adrian Street-ish gimmick?
No. I think Adrian Rico had a hurt knee because at one time he was one of the most athletic wrestlers that was trained at OVW, and he'd won a couple of those. What were the contests on TV where you run, you jump, you do the thing on the ladder, and
he was in the Gladiators.
Yeah, but he was actually the winner of that, and he was just he was a nice guy. He was just so coordinated, so athletic. And then when he hurt his knee, he was sort of a shell of himself. So they had to go to the comedy thing more and to go that way. And he pulled it off. So what the hell? But it was a shame when he got hurt.
But we're not going to do this on TV. Rip, can we see the used packing? No, I'll tell you what, Screaming Baboon, since you all text each other, Rip can take his packing out. He can take pictures of it, and he can text it to you all night long. How about that? That'd be great. You guys can text packing pictures to each other. We can keep that off this show, though. Thanks for the $2, though, Screaming Baboon. Appreciate it.
SB, baby.
SB.
with the big arm, called me at 2:15 in the morning, just going off, screaming, hating everybody. I thought I was looking something about myself, hating everybody.
Mighty Joe Young, $5 super chat. Any Gary Hart stories? Did he seem very involved in the careers of the guys he managed?
He was a booker, and he always had a big blade on him. So anybody messed with Gary Hart, he'd be pulling that big old. He had a big old blade about 6 inches long. He'd be ready to put it up to your throat, threaten to cut you, whatever. So when he was guys that he pushed usually did pretty good, because if not, you had to mess with Gary.
Let's see what else we got here. Can't remember. Let's see. You got to scroll backwards. We're at the end. RVD's in Vegas. Everybody's in Vegas, man. Is that why you moved there? Because all the top stars are in Vegas, or not moved there, visiting there for unknown period of time.
Yeah, I could be dead next week. So what the hell, right?
Well, yeah, you've been saying that for 5 years though. So
well, I'm trying to do it now. So what the hell?
Definitely since we started this show 3.5 years ago, you said you're about to die. So.
Well, there's a lot of guys, they just die and they don't even say it. At least if you warn them ahead of time, what the hell, right?
Well, I mean, a 3.5 year warning, that's kind of, kind of overdoing it a little bit, Rip.
Oh, okay. I should never speak about anything
then. I just don't, you get so butthurt on things. Say so. All right. Well, if I can't say I'm going to die for 3.5 years, then I'll never speak again.
Okay. Well, I'm allowed to do that, right?
Well, I guess you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. But then I can say what I want then too,
Yeah, it's just like when Hulk Hogan went up to the door and you was guarding the door, and he walks up to you and he's mad because you was taller than him and he's supposed to be 6'8", and he said something and you just blew him off, and he said, "Oh, okay, whatever it was." But you was looking down at him and chuckling. I knew you was laughing at him.
I don't think it's just like that, but
excuse me, sir, may I help you? You don't want to talk to the Rock. The Rock doesn't want to hear anything that you have to say. Well, if the Rock doesn't want to listen here, maybe he'll listen real good out there.
Is that what you're talking about right there?
Yeah, that was it. Now, who was the other guy at the door?
I don't know.
I remember seeing him before.
He was one of my stooges.
Yeah. Well, you were the head rockette, so you had to have a stooge if you was the head rockette.
I mean, you saw who Hogan was looking at, right? He wasn't looking at that guy. He knew I was the muscle of the group. He saw him looking right at me.
He knew that because you was about a whole bunch taller than him. And you probably didn't see that, but if you look down, you'd have seen him. He's on his tiptoes too. And he probably had his double lifters on.
Yeah, probably so.
And he still wasn't as tall as you.
Wouldn't
doubt
that.
It was probably hot because whoever the women he was with that night, it was probably looking at the bodyguard because you stood up to him. He just meekly said, "Okay." I remember that big spot. Okay. Turned around and left. He was over.
That's right. Vito in on the $2. So so you can send some packing to Screaming Baboon. How about that? There you go, Rip.
I think I'll send some to Vito.
There you go. Send it to Vito.
Yeah, but first he's got to send me a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Just put it to Rip Rogers, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get it, right?
Yeah, somebody will find it and give it to me or whatever.
Young Mighty Joe, $5 super chat. Can you tell us any stories about Randy Savage pretending to be broke down roadside until someone pulled over? You know that?
No,
story?
he didn't. They didn't have to pull over. What he would do, he was just sitting there, acting like he'd broke down or whatever. Then if somebody would come by and like, "Hey, fuck you, motherfucker," toot the horn at him, make fun of him, or moon him or something, then all of a sudden, he would do that just to get a confrontation. You know, Randy never wanting to fight for no reason.
Wow.
Starting shit without even starting shit. But yeah, he would just sit there, and then somebody would say something. "Hey, flip this off."
Were you ever with him when he did that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a normal thing.
It just seems like there'd be something better to do with your time than to sit on the side of the road.
Well, he was driving his car, so I was just getting the ride. So what the hell?
Screaming Baboon said, Vaughn, you had a high and girlish voice back then. Well, I still do, really. I mean, I was only 16 in that video, though. So, you know, what do you expect? Not bad for a 16-year-old. $2 super chat. We'll take the $2 for the insult. That's all right.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Let's see. More bloody packing. I don't want.
Is Manny the Weasel Valverde? Has he checked in today?
I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
I did look 16. I wasn't really 16. I think I was like 20. Shit, I was probably 25. I don't know how old I was.
Using the prime of life.
Prime of life, for sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how old I was. Shane Parks, Jim Cornette or Bobby Heenan? Who was the better manager?
Who is that? Is that a question?
That is a question. Yeah.
To me?
Well, sure. Yeah,
okay.
Not me.
I always
ask Von Lila's live.
Okay. Okay. No, Bobby Heenan's the best. Cornette's after Bobby Heenan because Cornette was Heenan got the most out of saying very little, not talking 100 miles an hour. And then when he worked unlike any other guy that was not like a manager. One of the greatest bump takers, one of the greatest flippers, knew how to sell. And no, it's pretty much universally accepted. And Cornette will tell you himself that Bobby Heenan was the greatest manager we've ever had in the pro wrestling business.
Talyon wants to know what was the best crowd Rip ever worked in front of, and me as well. The best crowd. I don't know if that doesn't really mean biggest, I guess. Best, you know.
No, you can't. You can't answer that.
What were some that were like electric? Some that just gave you a little bit different feeling. There had to be a time or a place, or
really. After about 2 years in the business, I didn't really look at the crowd. I remember one of the Superdome shows, they had 35,000 people there, but we was wrestling New Orleans every Monday night for Bill Watts in Mid-South in '83. But there's nothing like a building. Hell, I remember Hope, Indiana. We had that big show there with OVW, and the first match was Brock Lesnar against Ron H2O Waterman. And I remember the fire marshal come in and wouldn't let any more people in, and they were still lined around the building. And when they saw that first match, these two guys walking out there, they looked like robots or whatever. Two Mr. America's guys, athletic people, were just going, damn, look at them guys. But that was Ron H2O Waterman, who was an MMA guy, and then Brock Lesnar. But
surely that wasn't the best crowd you've ever seen, but I never had a lot of big. I mean, I came out 81,000 people in WrestleMania 23 with The Undertaker and Melina, but I didn't wrestle. Wrestling, I don't know. They were all mostly OVW, smaller, whatever.
But it's like when I got my head shaved in Rupp Arena, that was a big one. But just for the whole show, it wasn't that way. I just had the thing because I went on last and got my head shaved, and that was the last thing anybody seen, where the babyface beats the heel and heel actually gets his head shaved, and you run out of the ring with the towel over your head, and then for the next how long it was, you're bald headed and your hair comes out coming black, and then I kept it for almost a year before I bleached it blonde again.
Jake Carlin, you know Jake Carlin?
That's a new one, isn't it?
I believe. I don't know. It's been 3.5 years. I don't remember the name. Jay Carlin, $5 super chat. Have a great weekend, guys. Love you, Rip. Thank you, Jay Carlin, for the donation there. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend yourself.
Appreciate that, Jake. Thank you.
Got a question? Get it in there. We'll ask it. Also, I was gonna man, there was something else and I just forgot it. Huh. Shane Park says, ever wrestle? I always say the name wrong. Is it Jushin Thunder?
Oh, Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
No, I was on cards with him, but I never wrestled him actually in a match. I can't remember where we was somewhere together. I can't remember if it was in Japan or if it was in Puerto Rico, but I know I didn't. He was a real little guy, but he could do all his shit. That's for damn sure.
He also asked about if you ever met or wrestled or did anything with Killer Kowalski. I saw somewhere in there.
No, he always stayed on the East Coast. That's the guy that he was one of the premier trainers in the industry years and years ago. And most of the guys before Monster Factory was there, they all went and they were trained by Killer Kowalski.
When you were in Lexington or Louisville, did you ever go into college basketball games?
Let me see. I didn't go to games. When I was in Lexington, they were all sold out. But the players would come to Sente Sports Center and work out, which was awesome. Goose Gibbons was working out. I'm trying to think of the backup center white guy who he was. He was working out. There was 3 of them that would come in and work out at Sente Sports Center on time, and they watched me on TV and I watched them on TV. So that was cool.
Is there a P.O. box in Vegas yet?
No. Mm-mm.
God, what are you going to do without a P.O. box, Rip?
Well, good. I don't have to check it. Whatever happens.
Dreamy Baboon, $2 super chat. Rip, stories about living with Randy in Lexington.
Well, let me see. The ladies in this thing, no, they were little bit hadn't been born early enough yet, so we won't talk about that story. We could talk about you walking in the apartment there and you see all the walls are punched in. My hands were perfectly okay then, and they're perfectly okay now. So between me and Randy's, obviously somebody punched him out. And then one night on Halloween, somebody's knocking at the door. So, and Randy won't answer the door. Finally, he just comes out screaming. Ah! And all the little kids took off in different directions. And he just sit there laughing. So, but I told him I wouldn't tell that one because he'd be breaking character if he was sort of laughing and having a good time.
Oh, we got a big one in here, Rip.
Wow.
Orange one. They come through in orange. That means they're a big one.
Okay.
Patrick Young. Thank you, Patrick Young. Appreciate that.
I'm giving
Thank you,
5.
Rip, for all you've done for wrestling. Thank you, Vaughn, for helping Rip with the show. You're the man, Rip. You're the man, Patrick.
You know, you're the man, Patrick. I'm just sitting here telling stories and laughing and trying to figure out how to push play on this thing and everything like that. And Lilas is Mr. Technology, so he's the guy that's got to. I'm just a total jack off, and Lilas has to tell me to quit cussing this and that, and he has to be my filter. That's bad when he has to be my filter, and I was just all jealous because Mix Texas was just throwing himself at him. I was getting hot about it.
She was getting hot in a different way.
Well, I looked down there and I noticed there was some drippage on. I didn't know if somebody spilled some milk or if somebody spilled a pop, or but then I seemed to I sort of like shivering when you sort of grabbed her arm that one time and your elbow brushed her across her nippleage. I saw that and And she started breathing. I thought she was getting sick or was allergic to something because she started going. I guess she couldn't help it because you was the big man.
Who else was there at that thing? Oh, I saw. Tell you who was looking good. You probably wouldn't know her. She was a diva search, but Candace Michelle was there. She was looking good.
Is that the one married to Undertaker?
No, that's Michelle McCool.
Okay, I knew it was something was Michelle. No, I wouldn't know who they are.
She wasn't there.
Okay.
I talked to Gene Snitsky about the time when I was supposed to wrestle him, his debut on ECW, and we were going through the match during the day, and he told me if I fucked it up, he was going to beat the shit out of me. And Fit Finley said, Gene, you can't do that. It's live TV. You can't do that. And I was telling him, I said, hey, since we're sitting here talking. So I went over the story. But he goes, yeah, that sounds about like me. That sounds like something I would have said.
Yeah.
He was still jacked, looking good. He probably looks better now than he ever did.
Yeah, he does. He looks better than he did then. And that's what's so funny. Fit had to be the peacemaker. And when I knew Fit, he was the baddest man, the most aggressive, wanting to fight, rip eyeballs out, break your thumb guy I ever met in my life. And now all of a sudden, Fit's saved and he's the peacemaker.
Yeah, I remember I was having a match with Dolph Ziggler during the day, and Gene. Fit was also like the agent or whatever, just a practice match, tryout match, whatever. I remember I was laying on the mat, like on the apron, like by the ropes. So all my hair was back. So I, showed my receding hairline, and Fit said something like, "Oh, you got the kayfabe bald spot." Huh?
That's exactly what I was.
I'm laying back with my hair back, and you can see, because I had it longer, kind of covering it up. Oh, the kayfabe bald spot.
God. You could tell we was all together in Germany and Austria and stuff.
But he didn't say, like, I knew he was talking about me. I knew exactly. I was right there. He didn't say, "Oh, you." He just said, "Oh, kayfabe bald spot." Like,
and he said it with a straight face too, didn't he?
Well, I was in the middle of a match, but yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he just real nonchalant. He made it so I could hear it, and T Weasel is the man. Manny Valverde says.
Oh, is he? Did he buy something?
No,
he ain't no member yet, is he?
No. Come on.
Okay, now, for once, I want you to listen to me. Do not recognize Manny the Weasel Valverde on our podcast. Don't put Manny the Weasel, Manuel Valverde, Mr. Jackson County, whatever he was, the man who had R, and he had the Whitcomb girl, and the biggest stud in Jackson County and Seymour. Well, he went all the way down to Scottsburg and Austin too, and the world's greatest card player. But do me a favor and do not mention Manny the Weasel Valverde, the sex god, on our show today. Okay. Okay. So Manny, we're not we're not mentioning you. We're not putting you over. Manny the Weasel Valverde.
Did you talk to Medusa at the convention, Rip?
No, I think I wasn't she over there by Melina?
No, she was by
she was I think I glanced.
She was by the Spellbinder, wasn't she? Remember the Spellbinder?
Okay, yeah. Oh God, was he rotten? Now he's all jacked now.
Well, he was always jacked, but he's still jacked.
Yeah. I mean, how many years ago was that?
A long time.
He had
the big biceps, the big vein coming out of both of them.
Yeah,
Medusa was over by him, I believe. Jillian Hall was by Melina.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of guys there just jacked out of their ass, which means they're closer to death from all the stuff they're putting in them. But what the hell? I'm not.
I never thought the headbangers back in the day were. They're probably bigger now than they ever have been too.
Right, you're right.
They look.
Of
course,
great.
That also is because so many people are so little now in wrestling. So those guys now look way bigger because everybody's so much littler. But yeah, the headbangers look. I was like, man, those guys are pretty big.
Yeah. And then before I knew who they were, I thought they was, 5'11" or something like that. And one was 6 foot, but they was really big guys and they was jacked.
Yeah. Who else has questions out there? Can Rip tell us about the Mighty Yankee? What's the Mighty Yankee?
Well, the Mighty Yankee was Kurt, not Curtis Thompson, but it was Curtis. God, I'm seeing he was, I don't know how many different characters, but he was a guy that played. He was the Mighty Yankee under the hood. He played about 4 different masked men under the hood years ago. For Nick Goulas, Jerry Jarrett, mostly Southern stuff.
You got any stories on him? Anything?
No, he was always a nice guy. Never made any trouble. That's hell. How you supposed to be a star like that? You got to make some trouble.
That's probably why I never made it.
Yeah, he was. All he did was do his job good and minded his own business.
Firebreaker Chip. I don't know if that's a question or.
Oh no, Firebreaker Chip was. God, I see him. What his other name was, but yeah, he was playing for WCW or WE or whatever. But I can't think of his real name. But it was the guy who was real jacked at OVW. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, he went to OVW?
Yeah, Firebreaker Chip did. Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Or maybe I was somewhere else with him.
Maybe he was in WCW, yeah.
Maybe I was just in Atlanta with him and stuff like that. But I remember under Curtis Thompson was his name.
That's what he just said. U.S. male Curtis Thompson.
Okay, yeah. And all of a sudden you keep thinking it finally just pops in there. Curtis Thompson. It became Firebreaker Chip, Curtis Thompson to Firebreaker Chip. Oh, but he was definitely from the Pussy Getting side of town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe he did the other side.
Well, I imagine if he had any financial stress and some mature older male would come around with a big stack of coinage, I bet he could do it.
Everybody's got a price, I heard.
Yeah.
Patrick Young, who is a former $1999 super chatter, said, Rip, when did you develop your confidence in the ring? Was it before or after meeting Randy Savage?
Oh, my God. Before I met Randy, I didn't know anything. I wasn't even smart to the business. I was the world's worst wrestler in any and every aspect of the business. And then when I got with Randy, we started working every day, and I'd work 40 minutes with him every day. I'd be the baby face and he'd just lead me like a baby, and I could probably do 3 or 4 things. I was young, half-ass built and athletic, but had no confidence, didn't have a clue to what I was doing. Not at all. And
why do you think Randy took you in, so to speak? Like, did he ever have friends like that beforehand, or mentor, or whatever? Like, how did you guys like mesh that well? I guess
he talked about he was always friends with Charlie Fulton, I remember, but I don't really know. I just knew that when I went with him and I was with him, and I just shut up and trained hard and listened and said yes sir to him and his dad and his brother and whatever, and they knew, and he knew I had a good attitude, and no matter what I was going to pay, and if we was living together, I was going to pay half the rent, so he was happy about that.
Yeah, I know, but he probably hadn't really done that before with people, had he? Had he ever...
I don't know, because I know he had lived with girlfriends before and stuff like that, but I didn't meet Randy until he was in working for Nick Goulas.
Did you think did you know, like, I know times were different, and maybe even at that time there wasn't really make it to the WWF, but did you know one day he was going to be like a national, international, whatever star? Like, did you ever think about that kind of stuff back then? I know the whole scene was totally different back then, but
yeah, well, in my mind, he was the greatest wrestler I'd ever been around.
Yeah.
He could carry anybody. And before then, it was all called in the ring. He taught me how to call it in the ring. So that when they talked about him and Steamboat memorizing a match, which was all Randy's idea. And then I can see that like one time, because Randy would go overboard. Anything he did, he had to be the best at it, or he wasn't going to do it. So Wood was playing baseball, getting into wrestling business. Then he got into his bodybuilding phase with this and that. He's just a tiger on a short leaf trying to prove himself. Anybody that was any bigger, he'll basically walk up to you and say, "You're thinking I'm small, aren't you?" But we was roommates for a long time, different places, and he was never really that wild. And he probably I probably saw him more relaxed than anybody that he'd ever been around with. He was a good guy. Don't look at the character that you see on wrestling or whatever. Just look, but he was a good guy.
Pot Ripper Jr. says Von Lilas ? I don't know what that means. Hey, what's up, man? Von, maybe, I don't know, maybe a different spelling. Yeah, I used to spell it Vaughn, if that's what you're getting at. At least back in the OVW days, that's how it was spelled. And then I just changed.
Then you went big time, and you got tired of signing all them long autographs, so you just said VON.
Yeah, once I went to the internet, I just went to YouTube and said VON. Changed it, man.
Yeah, you can do that,
Sure. Greg Smith in the house.
All right.
Greg Smith said he'd been catching the replays on YouTube. Thanks, Greg.
We've been missing Greg Smith around here. We need some guys to correct us.
It's right.
When I say something wrong and stupid.
That's right. Vito, $2 super chat. Thanks, Vito. Says, you guys remember Tim the Baker from OVW? I remember that name, but I don't really.
Yeah, he was the real little guy, and he'd have the rolling pin with him, and he had the baker's hat. So he was strictly all gimmick.
AG.
Yeah, he was AG, baby.
AG, all gimmick. I don't. I kind of remember him. Was that your creation there, Vito? Potter said, I was thinking that's who he was talking about, Big and Jack at OVW. Yeah, I wish I was Big and Jack, but not quite ish. Wasn't Firebreaker Chip a stripper? Was he a stripper in a dude club? Frank's Pickle Barrel ass said.
I don't think he was in a girls' club. Hell, he might have been. I don't know. But
a dude's club. Was he a gay stripper? Gay stripper
I don't know.
Club.
If he would have done that, he would have made more money in the gay club like Lucky.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was Nick Dinsmore's idea. And Eugene was at the big convention this weekend.
Yeah, Eugene was there. Hanging and banging.
Thugging and bugging.
Mm-hmm. And he was hanging on Miss Texas too, but not the way she was hanging on you.
No. I mean, she didn't hang on to anybody the way she hung on me. I mean, that's pretty obvious, I think.
I think it was. I imagine they didn't have the local. I imagine they didn't have the local TV cameras coming in or whatever, or not Vince McMahon or whoever the boss now sending in. They just want to see Jackie. Where is she now, and who's her new hot tall hunk? Looks like he should be throwing chops against Gunther.
Funny thing is, Nick had texted me and he's like, I'd sent him a list like all the people that were going to be there. And the only person that he wanted to meet was Miss Texas. He just kept telling me Miss Texas is going to be there. And then lo and behold, they were in the same room, just right, basically the same corner together. And man,
hell, he might have gimmicked it and changed the thing.
Might have. First text I got when he got to the thing was him and Miss Texas.
Yeah.
And the second one was him and cornbread.
The first thing I spotted when I got there was Miss Texas.
Here's his go-to. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not, but this is his go-to like promo every single time.
love squared circle expo. Listen, I've been all around the world. I've been to 42 countries. I've been to all 50 states. I've been to Kalamazoo, Kathmandu, Timbuktu, Rancho Cucamonga, and Lake Titicaca. And I know two things for sure. Number one, I would kill for a Nobel Peace Prize. And number two, squared circle is the best expo in the world.
I would kill for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Once you got it down, you got it down, baby.
I just
6 to 60 blind cripple the crazy. You still got it down. It's like the dream talking about son of a plumber man.
See, you got it.
If
all right, we need some questions. We're over an hour here. You got any last? Well, hell, we're an hour 10. Well, you got any questions? Any more super chats?
Well, we was broke down for a while trying to get on, get off. Since I wasn't Mr. Technology, this and that,
That was all a rib. We all know that was all a rib. That was all.
Oh yeah.
It was AR. All rib.
Okay.
Make the screen go black on purpose. Then
I can't make the screen go black if my life depended on it.
Then do this for 8 minutes. You never talked that much in your life, so I know you weren't really talking.
Oh, okay.
What do you got plans for this weekend in Vegas, Rip?
I don't know.
What do you got going on?
I ain't got nothing going on.
No?
Let's see. I got Sin Bodie's going to come pick me up Tuesday. We're going to go out to that place where he teaches at, where they had it's the big wrestling school here in Las Vegas, and they ran like 10 shows the week WWE was here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like some of them was like an afternoon show and a night show, because when everybody would come in for WrestleMania, hell, they might stay here a whole week, some of them 10 days, because they announce it so early, right? And all them people from Europe, they just come over here and just hang out and just spend money. So they just want to get around wrestling people is what they want to get about.
So he's coming to pick you up?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Something to do. I remember when he came to OVW, and I was like, oh man, I was like, not scared, but like just wanted to keep my distance kind of thing. But in reality, he was light as a feather, never touched you.
Right.
Just awesome. I was like, oh, this guy, super nice, nothing like you saw on TV type of thing. He was totally different in person.
Yeah, that's like when you meet somebody, some of these guys, you think they're great and they're the shits, but a lot of them, you think they're the shits and they're fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was awesome, man.
Oh, he lives on a farm, and he's got chickens, he's got ducks, he's got all kinds of shit. He's just a farmer. Said he lives about 20 minutes outside of Las Vegas on his farm.
Even though Rip's in Vegas, he still does have t-shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com. You can still go get a couple t-shirts. We haven't sold one in many
months, years,
probably. Well, months will go.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can go get Rip's old book or his new book. They look exactly the same except for the golden sticker. So don't get confused on that. Go get one of these two hot items.
Yeah, the golden sticker's got a whole lot more pages and more stories.
There you go. Sale right now at Amazon.com. Go pick that thing up.
And I got some money sent to my PayPal last night from Caleb Hall. So
yeah, I asked you for your PayPal, and you didn't.
Yeah,
know
I don't know what it is. He knows what it is.
So we're gonna figure out Rip's new PayPal with so you don't send it to me anymore, because used to I would just give him cash money, but don't know.
Vince Prince is in Thailand, but he's going to France, to Paris, to get married to wife number 4.
So he'll be currently married to 4 people?
No, he will be married to wife number 4.
Oh, I thought he was out of the country marrying, like where you could marry.
Well, at one time he actually had 2.
Oh, okay, so this is
just Yeah, he said all countries have got different rules and stuff.
So he'll actually be only married to one person, but the fourth time.
Yeah, it's the fourth. Uh-huh.
Well, you know what they say, Rip. They say fourth time's a charm, right? Isn't that the
No, it's
saying?
the third time's a charm.
Oh shit! Well,
you got one more.
Yeah, maybe he'll.
Hey, I can just see a big 6'6" guy with cowboy boots on, hat on backwards, got the freshly groomed beard, and then the small petite Miss Texas is saying, "Yes, I do."
She is a lot smaller in person than.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess I don't know. She's pretty little girl. Rip, talk about how you broke Miss Texas' back. Screaming Baboon says for a $2 super chat.
No, she broke my back. She broke my back when she gave me a back breaker, and then she started just headbutting me in the back and punching me in the back. That's how she broke my back. Not in the good sense. She really broke my back, I think. And I know she wants, but I know she wants to break Von Lilas's back in just in a different situation, if you will.
Po Tripper Pot Ripper Jr. says $2 super chat. Thanks for the content. Rip looks like a moon dog. Kind of do that.
Yeah, I'm Moondog. I'm Randy Colley. Moondog Randy Colley, or God, the one Moondog was the guy who used to work for Dale Mann. I can't think of his name. I think he was Cujo. But the Moondog was like the Midnight Express. They had a whole lot of different members. A Moondog would get hurt. He'd go somewhere else and work under the hood. They'd bring another Moondog in.
Now, the two I remember, I can't remember their names for real, but the two I remember, the two main ones, at least I thought they were the main ones in Channel 3 Wrestling in Memphis. Those were in my mind, the good ones, the scary ones, the tough ones or whatever, until they showed up in WWF, and then they got beat up every time.
Yeah, all of a sudden, but they was making 10 times as much money in WWF.
Yeah. They killed everybody in Memphis. They go to WWF and get beat in 2 minutes. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. Well, they got the Memphis underneath roster wasn't as strong at that time. They brought the AA up instead of the AAA guys.
What's Rip's PayPal? We don't know yet. Rip has to figure it out. He doesn't know how to do it, I guess. He doesn't know how to look at the PayPal address. Well, that's your homework for this week, Rip.
I don't think it says anything on there.
Well, it's an email. Typically, your PayPal is just one of your email addresses.
Well, see, I got so many email addresses.
Okay, so yeah, you just have to figure out which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. We got 19 things today. Shane Parks, Young Mighty Joe, Screaming Baboon, Michael Costello, Young Mighty Joe again, Big George, Vito, Screaming Baboon, Young Mighty Joe, Vito, Young Mighty Joe. He was on fire today.
Uh-huh.
Patrick Young with the big 1999. Can't forget about that one. Jake Carlin, the big Pittsburgh Pirates fan, it looks like. Sorry about that. Pot Ripper Jr., more Baboon, more Vito Andretti. All the top stars were here today, Rip. We got up to 40. We were in the 40s for a while as far as viewers.
Well, some of them got on and they got off because of the technical difficulties.
Oh, no, there was 40 strong about 20 minutes ago. Had nothing to do with the difficulties.
Oh, okay.
Pot River, my good friend was Lonnie Maine's brother-in-law. Was he? Who was he? Was he one of the?
He was a big star in Portland, San Francisco, on the West Coast, and he was Lonnie Moondog Maine. He was the first Moondog.
Oh,
Lonnie Maine was, yeah, and he was super over like Buddy Rose and Roddy Piper was before I had got there, but I can't remember, he had died in a car wreck. But Lonnie Moondog Maine was the first Moondog, and he basically wrestled on the West Coast.
Vito said he loved Rough and Ready. I remember Rough and Ready. They never won a match, did they? Rough and Ready.
No, I don't think they did.
He said they had a manager, Boss Winners. Why would a team have a manager if they were never going to win? Did they really have a manager?
I don't know, but they probably did, because you throw a manager in there just to get more heat. So if the baby faces are beaten, they don't give a shit. But if you got a manager and he can cheat and talk that shit and interfere and stuff like that, when you beat him, it'll mean more. So that's a good idea for a team like that to have a manager.
Pot Ripper said he passed on the way from L.A. to Sacramento.
You talking about Lonnie Moondog, Maine?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that would have been, what town was it now?
From L.A., somewhere on the way from L.A. to Sacramento.
Okay, so then he is working for Mike LaBelle at the Olympic Auditorium then. That was yeah, San Francisco, L.A., going down.
Did Ma Boss ever manage you?
Oh, no. God. But she managed Ronnie Bass, and Ronnie Bass was one of the Moondogs too?
I don't know.
But anyway, but I remember it was Ron and Don Bass with their manager, Maul. Their Maul was a manager.
Cousin Crazy says hi.
All right. I wonder if
you ever thought about broadcasting on X and YouTube at the same time? Yeah, we used to do X, but I did it on my Twitter, X. Nobody follows me. Rip now won't really be able to because he's doing this from his phone. So anyway. Roy Baker in the house, Rip.
Who is it?
Roy Baker, Ox Baker's nephew.
Oh, all right. Foxy Oxy. Doug Baker.
Roy Baker.
Well, Ox's real name was Doug.
Oh, it wasn't Ox?
No, that was his middle name. Foxy Oxy. I told you where he lived in the three houses, him and his mother-in-law or whatever. They had three houses and they was all the same in not Coal Camp, Missouri, but it was the other town. He said he was really from Coal Camp, but then there was another, a different town he was from. I can't remember but he had the three identical houses in a row, the Baker clan.
Almost sounds like Steel Acres.
God, I forgot about Steel Acres. Steel Acres.
Yeah, they get no better than that.
You know what I mean?
So I money fold and
I think it's about time. You stay on there when I go off here. You stay on there. You don't have to exit out, but you can give us a head bob. Can you hear the music this time, Rip?
No.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Oh, you really? You can't?
No.
How about now?
No.
So you really can't?
No.
Everybody can hear, but you?
Well,
every other time we have
so.
guests on, I say head bob. Everybody can hear, and they head bob.
Okay, well, I can't hear it. I wish I could hear it, but I've never been able to hear it. I don't know why I did.
Everybody have a great weekend. Come back next time, concrete time, Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern. And we'll see what city and state rips in by then. Travel the world.
Where was the vet?
Not here. But you're close. You're closer to him now, though.
Yeah, where's he at?
Somewhere in California.
Okay, well, it is.